special presentation of HBO Sports.
Tonight, HBO Sports travels to Norfolk, Virginia, a considerably more tranquil setting than in the days when it was a key launching pad for Operation Desert Storm. But for Virginia's native son, undisputed lightweight champion of the world, Pernell Whitaker, the seas will be anything but calm as he climbs into the ring tonight.
Not going to make it. This is a first-round knockout for Pernell Whitaker.
Winner by knockout and the undisputed lightweight champion of the world, Pernell Sweet Tea Whitaker.
And before Whitaker takes center stage, we turn our attention to the heavyweights. Undefeated Michael Moorer continues his quest toward a title fight as he takes on British-born Jamaican-raised opponent Alex Stewart. Moorer's boxing dossier demonstrates one of the sport's most prolific knockout punches. He's KO'd all 24 opponents he's faced. On the other hand, Alex Stewart looks to redeem himself after the devastating one-round loss to Mike Tyson. He hopes tonight to rediscover his own knockout punch. The emotions are flying high. We present a boxing doubleheader. Michael Moorer takes on Alex Stewart, and then in our main bout, Pernell Whitaker puts his undisputed lightweight title on the line against Poli Diaz of Spain. We are live at the Scope Arena in Norfolk, Virginia, where HBO Sports presents World Championship Boxing. First off, you're going to see up-and-coming heavyweight Michael Moorer as he takes on Alex Stewart in about scheduled for 10 rounds. Then the main event, undisputed lightweight champion Pernell Whitaker fights the WBA's #1 challenger Poli Diaz. That fight scheduled for 12 rounds. This modern facility in Norfolk, just a short walk from the childhood home of Pernell Whitaker. The city still rallies around the fighter who brought back the gold medal from Los Angeles in 1984. We bring you inside to an electric atmosphere in Pernell Whitaker's hometown arena. And hello again, everybody. I'm Jim Lampley. What a night of fun we are about to bring you. The place is packed with friends and fans of Pernell Whitaker. Behind me, there's one small colony in the rafters of people who have come from Spain and elsewhere to root for Poli Diaz. They are sporting a Spanish flag and chanting his name. A marching band will bring Whitaker into the arena a little bit later in what may be a boxing first. And later in the evening, we look forward to interviews with world heavyweight champion Evander Holyfield and an update on the potential Mike Tyson rape charge situation in Indianapolis. More on all of that later, but the first piece of business is the bout between Michael Moorer and Alex Stewart. With me, as always, HBO boxing analyst Larry Merchant. And Larry, what about young Moorer, the latest in a long line of light heavyweight champions to move up to the heavyweight division?
A lot of people from the media have come to this event, Jim, primarily to see Moorer, because there is a groundswell of feeling, call it a hunch or a suspicion, that when the smoke clears from all those promising young heavyweights out there, that Moorer might be the one who is standing. But an if has to be attached to that might, because he was a light heavyweight so recently. He has to prove that he's a full-fledged, real, genuine, legitimate heavyweight. And by taking on a big, strong heavyweight like Alex Stewart, he's saying he believes he is, and that's what we're here to find out.
Well, you're suggesting that Stewart is a real test for him. And, of course, no one knows more about the heavyweight division than another up-and-coming prospect, former champion and present contender George Foreman. George, Alex Stewart, in his last appearance on HBO, was sliced up by Mike Tyson in less than 1 round. So a lot of people are going to say he's not a credible opponent. What do you think?
Listen, you really get into the boxing, one round knockout cannot destroy a man. If he's hungry, if he still feels he can become heavyweight champion of the world, he can win this fight tonight. Costs more, a light heavyweight, Hey, the greatest ones, Joe Louis, Muhammad Ali, started off light heavyweight, and they become the best, if you ask me.
So the question in your mind is whether Moorer, a 210-pound heavyweight, can compete with a 230-pounder like Stewart.
Stewart lands one good left hook, the fight is over.
All right, it'll be interesting to see what happens, but that, of course, is the subject of Alex Stewart, and most are here to see about young Michael Moorer. Let's take a closer look now at the man who fights out of the Kronk Gymnasium in Detroit.
We just won a hell of a round, a hell of a 4 rounds with Larry Holmes. Got it back in a minute. Go.
6 years ago, conditioning guru Mackie Shilstone sculpted Michael Spinks from a natural 175-pound light heavyweight to an unnatural heavyweight champion, employing revolutionary running techniques, a weight training program designed to simulate specific boxing motions, and finally a carefully structured diet. Shilstone and Spinks achieved a seemingly unattainable goal. Then along came Evander Holyfield, who took the conditioning ethic of today's heavyweight fighter into a new stratosphere in his 6-year climb from light heavyweight to cruiserweight, then to the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Now testing the waters in his jump from light heavy to heavyweight is 23-year-old Monessen, Pennsylvania native Michael Moorer. Like most boys in his football hotbed of a hometown, Moorer played high school ball, but only for his senior year before focusing on his amateur years as a boxer.
If I wasn't a boxer, I'd probably be in school playing football or something like that, or a police officer or whatever. But, you know, I'm glad I chose the sport. This is something that I wanted to do. I feel comfortable with it. You know, I was blessed with the talent and the ability. So I just pursued it, and this is where I am today.
After turning professional early in 1988, Moorer fought for the light heavyweight championship at the end of the year in his first nationally televised bout. He would defend his title 7 times, each time conscious of the difficulty of making the 175-pound limit.
As a light heavyweight, I was defeating my body from growing. I was walking around at 200 pounds, and in order to lose the weight, I got up and I ran, but I ran with the rubber suits on, with sweatpants and sweatshirts and long john shirts, just something that'll keep my body sweating with the rubber suit on. And I'd come back and eat breakfast, and the breakfast would be maybe a hard-boiled egg and a grapefruit. My last fight when I fought Danny Lindstrom, I felt the effects in probably like the 7th and 8th round. And I got tired, which I never experienced before in the fight. I just told Emmanuel, I said, Emmanuel, I can't make this weight anymore.
At that time, I think everyone was tired of the work or an ordeal going through of getting him to go down to 175 pounds. And we at that time didn't even feel like going down to make 195 pounds anymore. So we decided to fight as a heavyweight. Plus, there's no interest in a cruiserweight anyway. And he naturally has the bone structure of a heavyweight. It's not like we're trying to build a guy into a heavyweight.
He skipped the money-starved cruiserweight division. Now Michael Moorer simply maintains his walking around weight of 205 to 210 pounds. Manager, trainer, and also chef, Emanuel Stewart now has the luxury of providing meals for his fighter without counting calories.
I eat just for the nutrition. It's good now because I can eat and my body has a chance to grow, and along with growing, I can develop a lot more power with, you know, with growing. So it all helps.
Though he's not a blown-up heavyweight, Moorer still utilizes some modern technologies that are becoming more common in boxing. Otherwise, it's back to the basics. In his first fight as a heavyweight, Moorer disposed of Terry Davis in 3 rounds, then emerged victorious in a subsequent bout. With the making of this new heavyweight now complete, the only remaining uncertainties rest on his ability to hone skills in anticipation of tougher matches yet to come.
I think speed is very important in the heavyweight division. And I believe that Michael's, he's going to have to concentrate more on boxing. I think he's going to have to use his right jab a lot more because the knockouts may not come as easy now that the guys are much larger.
I know one day I'm going to go a full 10 rounds or 12 rounds, but that's to be expected because I work that hard in the gym to go to 10 or the 12 rounds.
We bring you back live to the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia, where coming up in a matter of minutes, it will be the heavyweight battle between young contender Michael Moorer and Alex Stewart, whose only 2 losses in his career were to Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson. And George Foreman, among all his other credentials, one unusual factor about Moorer is that he's a southpaw. You got to go back 25 years in the heavyweight division to Carl Mildenberger to find a southpaw who contended for the championship. Why are they so rare?
It's strange because most boxers, you take him into the gym, the average kid, he leads with his right hand, and he counters, of course, with his left hand. Then every trainer turns him around. So the natural position is the southpaw position. Now, he can become heavyweight champ of the world because he packs a good wallop and nothing can stop him. Why there are so few light boxers or heavyweight champions who are southpaws? It's a mystery. Most fighters, trainers turn him around.
And it's going to be an advantage for Moorer, isn't it?
A great advantage because he can hit.
All right, well, if you'll include George Foreman among them, there are about a half-dozen young contenders in the heavyweight division who were not big names a year ago. And Larry Merchant, suddenly we find the division replete with supposed young stars. How did that happen?
Well, I think we can trace that back to Buster Douglas beating Mike Tyson in Tokyo. Then along comes Holyfield, along comes Mr. Foreman. And while they've been settling the top of the division, the fighters below them have had a chance to develop instead of being rushed into title fights for a good payday. Right now, I'd rank them as Riddick Bowe as #1 because he has shown that he's willing to fight any of the others. Lennox Lewis, who defeated Bowe in the '88 Olympics, would be #2. After that would come Mercer and Morrison, 3 and 3A. They'll settle their difference in a couple of months after a postponement, and then Moorer. But if Moorer wins his 25th straight knockout as a professional tonight, he's going to zoom right over 1, 2, 3, or all of them.
All right, we'll take a look and see what happens in a few minutes. But first of all, to fully flesh out that situation, let's introduce you again to the names and faces of this contingent of young stars in the heavyweight division. Heavyweight boxing looks to a promising crop of future stars. One of them is Riddick Bowe. Gifted with promising ring generalship and powerful punching potential, Bowe looks likely to live up to the expectations others have placed upon him. Next, Bowe hopes to continue his climb against another potential heavyweight star. And should Bowe continue to punch with the authority he's shown in the past, a title shot will be sought for him sooner rather than later. That should make the fighter and manager Rock Newman ecstatic. Now here's a rare stateside look at another promising heavyweight, 1988 Olympic gold medalist Lennox Lewis. Hidden from the boxing public in London, the Canadian Lewis has made his way back to the United States now, where he has all intentions of trying to make a name for himself among the current cadre of rising heavyweight stars. Lennox Lewis of Canada. Yet another Olympic gold medalist and most mature of the young heavyweights is Ray Mercer. In this fight against Francesco Damiani, Mercer displayed the heart and courage needed to compete at the top level, despite being way behind on the scorecards. Outclassed by Damiani's boxing skills, Mercer was able to dig down deep inside and shock everyone at ringside with a thrilling 9th round knockout. This Mercer knockout was to have set up a big August showdown with our next featured heavyweight, Tommy Morrison. The latest and loudest celebration yet for Ray Mercer. Now on to the subject of Morrison, coming off a less than spectacular performance in his April 19 fight, one in which he injured a calf muscle. Then the latest setback occurred last week, when Morrison got 12 stitches from a cut over his right eye sustained in sparring. He'll be out of action now for 6 weeks, and that has forced Tommy Morrison to pull out of the scheduled August 9 fight with merciless Ray Mercer. Who knows when Tommy Morrison will be back in the ring and with whom? And that leads us to this evening's fighter and the newest of hot heavyweights, Detroit's Michael Moorer. Many now consider this poised athlete to be potentially the best of the bunch. Once again, the Kronk Gymnasium in Detroit and and Emanuel Stewart have risen from the ashes to produce, at least in terms of potential, a boxing champion of the future. A heavyweight on the rise, along with several others, Michael Moorer of Monessen, Pennsylvania.
And as we bring you back live, both fighters have entered the ring now before this wildly enthusiastic crowd of about 8,000 people in the scope. And there is a good look at Michael Moorer. As Larry mentioned, 24 wins, no losses, all 24 wins by knockout, only 2 of the 24 in the heavyweight division. And for Alex Stewart, the record shows only 2 losses, both of them by knockout, an 8th-round TKO loss at the hands of Evander Holyfield when he was bleeding badly, but after having given a good account of himself, and the first-round embarrassment against Mike Tyson here on HBO. Tail of the tape, and you will see that Stewart is the bigger man. Moorer weighed in at 214.5 pounds, his heaviest so far. Stewart weighed in at 230 and appears to have added some muscle across the chest since the loss to Tyson in December of last year. Punch stat numbers, Larry Merchant.
All right, we see that both are pretty active for heavyweights. Stewart doesn't throw many jabs. His punches are usually harder punches. Moorer depends more on the jab and lands a very high percentage. And we'll see that in the jab totals, 50% of his jabs for Moorer. Stewart basically uses the jab as a spear.
Harold Letterman, the rules of the fight, please.
Michael Moorer and Alex Stewart will fight tonight using the rules of the Commonwealth of Virginia. 3 judges will score the fight on a 10-point must system. The standing 8 count is in effect. The 3 knockdown rule is in effect, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round.
All right, Harold, and now for pre-fight introductions, let's go to the ring announcer, Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the famous Scope Arena here in Norfolk, Virginia, where tonight, Main Events Monitor, in association with the undisputed king of beer, Budweiser, present professional boxing for your entertainment. All these bouts are sanctioned by the Virginia State Athletic Commission, Boxing Commissioner Doug Beavers, Chief Inspector at ringside, Ernie Green, physicians assigned at ringside, Dr. Maria Plott and Dr. Juan Ribas. Timekeepers Stanley Gold, Louis Latham, and Gail Carpenter. The 3 judges assigned to this bout doing the scoring on a 10-point must system are Oscar Bryant, Von LaPrade, and Jim Traylor. And the man in charge of the action in the ring is the referee, Chris Wollison. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get things started with 10 rounds in the heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He's wearing the black trunks with gold trim and weighed in at an even 230 pounds. His professional record, an outstanding one, 27 victories, all 27 by KO, only 2 defeats. He's from Tampa, Florida, and ranked number 5 in the world by the World Boxing Council. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex the Destroyer Stewart. And across the ring in the red corner, wearing the Kronk gold colors with red trim and weighing 214.5 pounds. Also, an unbelievable record, 24 victories, 24 KOs, 0 defeats. He's from the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan. Ranked number 12 in the world by the WBC as a heavyweight. He is the former WBO light heavyweight champion of the world, Michael Moorer.
I can't see his cue. Boxers, you've been given your pre-fight instructions in the dressing rooms. I expect you to obey my commands at all times promptly. Above all else, protect yourselves at all times. Shake hands. Good luck.
Keep in mind that Michael Moorer, although he fights southpaw, does everything else right-handed, like as Marvin Hagler did. The right hook is the punch that might be his most dangerous punch. He is a natural right-handed puncher.
And you take a look at Alex Stewart, who in the minutes before his knockout loss to Mike Tyson last year was bone dry. He has worked up a good sweat and appears to be properly warmed up for this assignment against Moorer. Now, George, Stewart tells us he has never before fought against a southpaw. How big a challenge should it be in the early rounds to begin to figure Moorer out?
Look at those big thighs. This guy's built like a football player. On paper, you wonder why Emmanuel Stewart would even match his fight with this big guy. On paper. Southpaw doesn't matter if you can really punch.
And Stewart, according to his record, has been able to really punch against 27 to 29 opponents. A ripping right hand inside early by Moorer, and Alex Stewart begins to go to the body.
Stewart is really unorthodox. He's landing good body punches in case the fight goes 4 or 5 rounds. Things pick up for the bigger guy.
Neither fighter has ever participated in a decision, and this has the early look of a slugfest. They are standing and pounding away.
You can tell Stewart doesn't like southpaws. Blinking his eye a lot because he doesn't know what to expect. To be jabbed by a right hand is awful.
And there's the straight right jab, scoring inside for Moorer.
And Moorer already has a bloody nose.
Yeah, he does. Blood coming from the nose of Michael Moorer in the gold trunks. Stewart in the black trunks. Just a little bit more than a minute into round 1 in Norfolk, Virginia.
Stewart started to watch that blood. He's going to go crazy.
Big test for Michael Moorer, and echoing what you said, George, Alex Stewart told us yesterday, Emmanuel Stewart was crazy to let his young fighter into the ring with me. This is a big opportunity.
Only on paper. Michael Moorer is trying to open up with hard punches too early, I think.
Giving Alex Stewart a chance to trade with him.
You got to soften up a big guy like that. Oh, a good body punch by Stewart. That hurt.
Good right hand to the body. Stewart, but a good left and a right comeback from Moorer. Moorer going to the head. Stewart focusing more early on the body. Both fighters doing damage. And Stewart is hurt.
Stewart is really hurt, and he's cut.
Moorer landing the right hand over the top. Stewart in serious trouble against the ropes. Plenty of time left in the round. Down goes Alex Stewart. Referee Chris Wallison. There's a cut over the left eye of Alex Stewart.
Think about Moore. He's an excellent finisher, more so than a...
Well, he's got 20 seconds in which to prove just how great a finisher he can be. Goes to the body. Back to the body again, and then back upstairs. Stewart counters with a right hand. Still in trouble. Down again.
The end.
Cannot be saved by the bell. Clock is well past 3 minutes now. I don't know why we have not heard a bell to end the round, and there it is.
A magnificent round for Michael Moorer.
The small cut. Alex, you got to break your body standing. Right. All right, take it easy. That's what you got me for. Okay, right. Don't worry about the cut, Alex. Look here. Don't worry about it at all.
A clarification for us if you can. Well, first let's look at this replay, Larry.
Moorer landed a tremendous number of clean punches. As I mentioned earlier, it's the right hand that, although he fights southpaw, George, you can see there, he's really winding up with that right hand.
The thing that's so difficult for Stewart, he's expecting a left when the right is coming. All kinds of things are happening bad for him tonight.
Harold, why didn't the bell ring at the 3-minute mark?
Be saved by the bell in any round, including the last. I spoke to Commissioner Doug Beavers of Virginia about it, and he said that the bell will sound after the referee cleans off the fighter's gloves when he regains his feet.
All right, well, the round was 3 minutes and 16 seconds long, and too long for Alex Stewart. And how tough is it for Stewart against the southpaw? Moorer landed 27 of 34 jabs in round 1.
Stewart is accustomed to fighting with a cut, so that's not going to bother him.
He fought with a cut against Holyfield and fought valiantly, hurting Holyfield in the 5th round of what became an 8th round TKO loss. But he also bled profusely.
He just doesn't know what to expect from this southpaw. It's coming in the wrong angle.
George, I think what keeps Stewart going is the conviction that if he can get one good punch in, he can change the tide of the fight.
That's the puncher's thought. Just give me one good one, it'll be over. And he's almost getting one now. This guy's throwing away a lot of his punches. More. That big guy lays on him, he's going to be tired.
Well, Moorer appears to have slowed down just for the past 15 seconds or so. And he's giving Stewart a little chance to catch his breath.
Stewart is constantly landing the body punches. Unfortunate for him, he just doesn't know how to get away from a southpaw.
He's got a discouraged look on his face, George.
Don't be holding, watch your head.
And there's a solid left hand.
The thing about fighting a southpaw, you've got to keep that left foot of yours on the outside of his and keep that jab going. You can't let your left feet or your left foot get in the inside of his feet.
Well, I think footwork is the least of it right now for Alex Stewart, who is hoping to stand up long enough to land a good shot. Right hand ripping up inside for Moore, and Stewart is hurt again.
Moore was hurt with a body punch also, a left hook to the body. He's taking time to feel it. Left hook by Stewart. Something. That's the game that Stewart want to play.
Plenty of time left in round 2. You can see that Moore does not cover up when he's hurt. He throws punches instead.
As I said earlier, look at the big thighs, like a fullback on Stewart.
Moore's head is clearing as he steps away from the ropes.
Step back, I got you. Step back clean.
But Stewart caught him with a mammoth right hand shot in there that almost turned the bout completely around.
I told you that one punch he has, he can end all things.
Now Moore goes back to the jab.
Blows up, Alex. I got you. Step back clean.
At this point, Stewart has got to keep his left foot on the outside of Michael Moore's right foot. He doesn't seem to care at this point.
Heavy bleeding from Alex Stewart, and he walks to the wrong corner at the end of the round.
All I got to say about that round is wow and wow again. You don't see many heavyweight fights with that kind of heavy shots landing consistently.
The guy was hurt. You're going to break your body. Go on your knees. Keep your feet going. Okay? Okay, baby. Okay, hold on. Okay.
And the Norfolk crowd loves it.
Let's see if we can catch that shot that turned that fight around. There it was, a straight right hand on the bridge of the nose. Obviously hurt Moore and looked almost for a few seconds as that was going to be the end of it, George.
The only thing saved him is that awkward position he lies. He just stays in that southpaw position. You don't know what to come back with.
You know, the question about a light heavyweight when he moves up to a heavyweight is two things. One, can he take a heavyweight's punch? And two, can he deliver a heavyweight's punch? He's landed a lot of hard punches, George.
And he's taken some good shots.
If he was a true heavyweight, you think he would have knocked Stewart out already?
No doubt about it.
You think so? So you think this is a black mark against his record that he hasn't gotten Alex out of there in 2 rounds?
That's true.
I don't know.
If he had not been a right-hander, right-hand lead, he would have been out of there himself. Michael Moore is for real, no doubt about it.
All right, well, we'll clarify that one after the fight, because I'm confused as to what you think. But right now, too much action to talk about it, as both guys are wailing away one more time.
In my mind, Michael Moore is a great fighter, but he's not going to be able to long period to take those big heavyweight shots.
Watch your head.
He has a tendency to want to lay on the rope. Bad habit for a guy who's not too big anyway.
Come on at it.
Well, he probably hasn't been in against too many previous opponents who could hurt him. He was too strong for the light heavyweights he fought, and the first 2 heavyweights he's been in against were lesser fighters. But now a real test, as there comes the right hand again.
Stewart is starting to lay on him a little bit. Michael Moore is blowing his nose. You never do that when punches are still landing. Stewart could just lay on him for a couple of rounds. He could turn the tide. Good left hook by Stewart.
Stewart seems a lot more sure of himself now than he was in the first 2 rounds. You get the feeling that Stewart believes he's taken what Moore has, and he's levered it. And now he's turning things around.
That Stewart just leans on him and leans on him. Things are going to change.
A much different look on Alex Stewart's face as the big man, littler man equation seems to begin to operate in his favor.
Punches are starting to be just real lazy. Not much zip and zap to them.
Now, this has been Stewart's round, George. He's getting a lot of opportunities to go to Moore's body against the ropes, and he's taking advantage. There.
Let him up. I got you. Step back.
They're both great boxers. Great boxers.
Moore beginning to grab and hold.
Now, don't blame him.
To the heavyweight division, Michael Moore.
Thank you.
Okay, we're ready. All you're going to do, Mike, is just punch the right. Okay, stay off the rope. Let's get back to the right jab this round, okay? Very important. We got to go back to this here, okay? We got to get back to the right jab.
When you get you on the rope, tie him up so the referee breaks. Stay off the rope. You got to use your jab. It's perfect, but you're not using it.
When you get that real quick. Yeah.
We're running them again, right down the pipe. When you're inside, go to the body. He's tied. The guy can't take it to the body. Okay? Freaky body. Don't stand in front of that ring. Okay? You in shape. You're going to get your second win after round. I want you to go downstairs, huh?
Seconds out.
Okay, come on.
Right now, let's give the highest marks to Alex Stewart, no matter what happens in this fight, for coming back from those 2 first-round knockdowns. I don't think any of us imagined that we'd still be here after that first round.
And in round 3, Stewart was the busier fighter and landed more punches than Moore. And you heard the men in Moore's corner saying, you've abandoned the jab, go back to it. He landed 57 jabs in the first 2 rounds and then unaccountably laid on the ropes and allowed Stewart to hit him in the third. Then they go back to the ropes again.
Stewart's got a 5-year-old daughter. Told me she'd be watching him today. He's going to put on his best effort. Daddy, get up. That kind of stuff, you know.
Well, Stewart's wife and daughter were at ringside for the Tyson debacle, and he thought it was a distraction to have them there. There's a solid left hand from Moore, and again the blood begins to flow on the bridge of the nose for Alex Stewart.
Moore is indeed a good puncher for any weight. Shouldn't be any doubt in his mind that he can punch.
Solid body punch from Stewart with the right hand. He pins Moore against the ropes.
Michael! Let him up. I got you. Let him up. Step back. Alex, step back.
Emmanuel Stewart up on his feet, shrieking at Moore to come back to the center of the ring. Slowly, Moore does it. And now, with blood flowing from Moore's nose, he resumes the attack at center ring. A lot of blood on Stewart's face.
Look like a new cut.
And Moore scores twice with the uppercut, and Stewart is down again.
Boy, that's a knockout.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Now he's going to get up again.
7.
A lot of blood from over the right eye. I think it's too bad to continue. Yeah. Good stoppage.
Knockout.
Good stoppage by referee Chris Wallison.
Well, you don't see many heavyweight fights like that one, George.
No, and it's because Stewart decided, I'm going to win this. I've got a chance.
Yeah.
And it called for a good fight.
Again, high marks to him coming back from a devastating humiliation at the hands of Mike Tyson. to be able to fight this well, fight this hard, I should say. And also the highest marks to Moorer, because it looked there for a moment that he had found that the heavyweight division was a little too heavyweight for him.
Well, in essence, this is reminiscent of Stuart Holyfield, isn't it? As Evander Holyfield was able to rock Alex Stewart. Stewart showed his courage, came back in the middle rounds to briefly command that fight, and then lost because he cuts and he bleeds. The same thing happened here. Fourth round action.
Yeah, the left hand hurt him, the right hand finished him. That right hand, once again, the right hand was the finishing punch in this fight for Michael Moorer. And also high marks to him, because he went in with a big, strong, well-conditioned, determined man who put him on the defensive, and Moorer found a second win and came back and dominated the fight.
Moorer is no doubt a future champion.
Those two right uppercuts tend to put you in mind of a fellow named Mike Tyson at his best.
I'm telling you.
And the mask of defeat on the face of Alex Stewart, who's now getting a good hand from the crowd live in the ring as we look once again at the knockout sequence. All right. So now, for the official particulars on the knockout, let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I give the official time, how about a round of applause for two heavyweights who came here to fight for all the fans here in Norfolk, Virginia. The official time, 1 minute and 54 seconds of the fourth round. The winner by knockout victory, his record now 25-0, 25 KOs from the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan, Michael Moorer. And a round of applause for Alex Stewart from Tampa, Florida.
And you look at the total punches in the bout. They were just about even in the number of punches they attempted. Moorer was the more accurate of the two, and it was that accuracy which in part paid off with the two big cuts over Stewart's eyes and the 3 knockdowns. And now here is Larry Merchant with the winner.
All right, Michael, welcome to the heavyweight division.
Thank you, thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank God, and a special hello to Van down in, I forget where she is, but on a speedy recovery. Thank you.
You thought it was over in the first round. You leaped up on the ropes. You were ready to take it. Congratulations.
I'm getting pumped. Whew, he's a tough fighter.
Were you surprised how well he came back?
Yes, I was. That shows a sign of a veteran, of a good fighter. A lot of people doubted me because they think I'm a blown up light heavyweight. We talked about it. But I think I proved the point right now to show that I am a legitimate heavyweight. I took some good shots. He hurt me once. I exchanged some good blows with him.
All right, tell us about that round, that third round, when he nailed you, drove you into the ropes. How hurt were you?
I wasn't hurt. I was just stunned for a minute. Then he came back. With a good follow-up punch with a hello to everybody in Menneson also. That was a sneaky one.
All right, let's see this last knockdown and describe to us what you see.
I see two guys fighting right now. It was a good, Emmanuel was telling me to throw a right uppercut on the inside, a short punch, and that's what I did. I had to wait for the special moment to throw it, and damn, I'm pleased, boy. Shit, I'm telling you.
What exactly pleases you about this? That he didn't go as fast and you had to regroup and get him again?
I had to bring everything out to woodwork. I had to show that I was a game young fighter like I am. I had to show that I'm a legitimate heavyweight. And this was a good fight for me. For instead of going a short distance, it went 4 rounds, 4 good hard rounds. And I appreciate it.
What kind of timetable do you have for yourself before you challenge for a championship?
Well, I don't want to be rushed. I want to take my time to let everything happen in time. I don't want the easy road to the heavyweight championship. Never been a southpaw heavyweight champion in a long time. And I just want to take my time and fight the good quality guys. And I'm going to be there. I'm going to be ready. God willing, I'm going to be there.
Well, we'll be there to watch you. Back to ringside.
All right,
So Michael Moorer extends his record to 25 wins, 25 knockouts, another event in what has already been an eventful weekend in the heavyweight division. Let's turn our attention briefly right now to what may turn out to be the biggest story of this weekend in boxing. The potential charge of rape against Mike Tyson in Indianapolis. The allegations arise from Tyson's visit to Indianapolis last week for an event called Black Expo, an event which, as you can see, attracted a variety of black leaders from across the country. One of the events which took place under the umbrella of Black Expo, a Miss Black USA pageant. And you will see here that the hotel in which the contestants for that pageant stayed was but a short walk, about a block and a half, from the hotel in which Mike Tyson was ensconced for the weekend. Police have been told that one of the contestants in the pageant, at the invitation of Tyson, made her way from her hotel to Tyson's hotel, where she was forced to have sexual intercourse with the former heavyweight champ. Here are the statements of police.
There has been a rape incident report made, and it's my understanding that Mr. Mike Tyson has been alleged to have committed the crime.
We're not commenting on the case because we're afraid it's going to compromise the investigation, or it might put the victim or the witnesses or people that are important in the investigation. It might put them in a position where they're going to be harassed, and that's why we've been very careful in what we've released so far.
To our knowledge, there has been no response yet from the Tyson camp, although we are told that the former heavyweight champion is indeed aware of the allegations against him. For more on the story, we're going to take you right now live to Indianapolis to reporter Mike Shue of television station WTHR-TV, who has been following the situation from the beginning of the developing story a couple of days ago. Mike, bring us up to date on whatever might be new in this in the last 24 hours.
Well, Jim, there are a couple of things that are new, and you just recently said there's been no response from Tyson camp. That's true, there has been no direct response from Mike Tyson, but there is something which we here in Indianapolis just learned of. Don King says that he really doesn't have any comment. Nobody's talked to me about it. We have to deal with it in the American way, in the constitutional due process way. And that is what is going to happen here. The prosecutor in this case has held off in releasing any information for about a week in this, and speculation is here so that he can get more facts without the giant media storm that will be following this. And that is what has happened here. It all came out yesterday when our station broke the news, and everybody is scurrying to find out all the different whereabouts about Mike Tyson over the weekend. Now, there have been some contestants. There was a woman in the Miss Black America pageant who just today from Miami said that the alleged rape could not have occurred at the time that it was reported in this police report, and the reason being that she was with Tyson at a Johnny Gilly concert until 1:30 in the morning, and the alleged rape is supposed to have occurred at 1:30 in the morning in the hotel room that Mike Tyson was staying. One of the interesting things about this is that Mike Tyson was supposed to stay in Indianapolis on Friday, and the organizer of the Black Expo, the largest black exposition in the country, got an abrupt phone call about 4 in the morning from one of Tyson's bodyguards saying that Mike's pulling out, we're leaving out of here, and he indeed left Indianapolis at 5:45 Friday morning rather abruptly.
Mike, we know that the woman who has alleged this attack was examined at Methodist Hospital in Indianapolis. Do you know if the police believe they have the medical evidence necessary to support a charge of rape?
I'm sorry, Jim, I do not know that. And one of the reasons for that is the police have been very tight-lipped about this whole thing. The identity of the woman, it is our station policy not to release that at all. And I know that her identity is being kept very closely guarded on this.
All right, Mike Shue of television station WTHR in Indianapolis, thanks very much for your time and for bringing us up to date on the Mike Tyson situation there. Standing with me now are the two men who stand to be most affected by whatever happens to Mike Tyson in Indianapolis. On my left, unanimous world heavyweight champion Evander Holyfield. On my right, heavyweight contender George Foreman, both of whom have expected somewhere along the way to perhaps wind up in the ring with Tyson, most specifically Evander, who has a contract to fight Mike November 8th. Are you fearful that the potential for a rape charge in Indianapolis could throw that fight of yours off schedule or perhaps even cancel it?
Well, maybe it would. But I hope that in that situation it's not what they put on Mike Tyson. I hope that it's not what everybody think it is.
So what you're hoping is that in Mike's best interest and in your own best interest that the allegations prove groundless.
Well, I'm looking in the best of Mike's interest. I feel that we can always fight one day. And I think that, you know, the man worked hard all his life to make something of himself. I hate for a situation like that to happen to anybody.
All right, because of your scheduled fight with Mike Tyson on November 8th, my friend George Foreman over here has filed a $100 million lawsuit against Evander Holyfield and his managers, charging breach of contract. George, there have been reports in the last couple days of a possible settlement between you and the Holyfield people. Has there been a settlement? Will there be one?
I can tell you this. I've told my daughters that Evander Holyfield is now bachelor, and I want him to be my son-in-law. He's rich, you know.
Do you want him to give you a whole lot of money to drop your lawsuit?
No, the whole thing is we're going to have a lot of fun. I still love Evander Holyfield. We're great friends. We're hoping that he and Mike Tyson come out for the heavyweight championship of the world, and I'm next in line. And the whole thing is going to be a lot of fun in the end.
It sounds like a lot of rhetoric, George, when you are holding a $100 million club over his head. Aren't you expecting some payment from Evander?
All I expect from Evander Holyfield is for him to stop trying to break my will in the ring, or try to break my will and stop trying to break my jaw.
Well, I'm not entirely sure all of that is true, because, Evander, my information is that his side is still looking for some recompense from you, and that's why the $100 million lawsuit still exists. Are you fearful that George's lawsuit might prevent you from meeting Mike as scheduled on November 8th?
Well, not at all. I think that's left up to my attorney. My attorney is handling that matter. And with me, I'm still training and looking forward to fighting Mike Tyson.
He says he still loves you. Do you take him at face value on that one, even though he's suing you for $100 million?
Sure. I don't think it's more of me. I think it's more of whatever the situation is, and my attorney didn't handle the matter.
What did you think of Michael Moorer tonight?
I think he was very impressive. I think he went out there and proved that being a small guy, he had the punch, and he showed a lot of character and a lot of will, a lot of determination.
If he had a real heavyweight's punch, might he have finished Alex Stewart in the first round when he had him so seriously hurt?
Well, I think in the first round, the fight could have been stopped then. I think Alex Stewart was hurt, and the referee gave him that extra second, and the bell rung. I'm sure if the referee wouldn't have stopped it, if the bell wouldn't ring it, Michael Moorer would have took him in the first round.
Stewart showed the same kind of courage and resiliency he showed against you, right?
Well, he showed that he can come back after being hurt, and he came back that second round and hurt Michael Moorer, which showed the determination that he had. Well, as you seen the fight, Michael Moorer showed that he had a lot of boxing skills and a lot of determination, and he was able to catch him with that good uppercut.
All right, let's settle one more thing with George Foreman, because I'm still not sure I've got the full answer. Are you suing Evander because business is business, or are you suing him because you don't like him anymore?
I love the guy. He's the greatest guy. I think he's the greatest champion. He's on the verge of being the greatest champion of all time.
All right, and so you're suing him because business is business. Okay, I got you. All right, well, some answers and some questions left unanswered by George Foreman. That concludes our look at Michael Moorer versus Alex Stewart. Let's turn our attention now to the main event of the evening. For lovers and fighters alike, there's no place like home, and Norfolk's Pernell Whitaker will certainly attest to that. Once again, the undisputed lightweight champion of the world has taken his show off the main road into his backyard, so close friends and family can catch his act up close and personal.
One of my favorite ones. Yeah.
Whitaker's life has become a crusade to serve as a good example, and when the opportunity has come his way, he's always given his hometown fans something to cheer about. Senses a strong commitment to his roots. To many of Norfolk's youngsters, he is the embodiment of the better way. What can be achieved if you pursue a dream? For Whitaker, the dream was to become a champion and the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Pernell may indeed have fulfilled that desire. Tonight, the undisputed world lightweight champion and Norfolk's favorite son takes to the ring to put his title on the line against a tough opponent, Holy Diaz of Spain. Once again, we are live in Norfolk, Virginia. World Championship Boxing on HBO continues. It is time for the fight for the undisputed lightweight championship of the world between Pernell Whitaker, the champion, and Paulie Diaz, the #1 challenger. This bout scheduled for 12 rounds of championship action. And you think we've had excitement so far? You ain't seen nothing yet. In a few minutes, a 110-piece marching band is going to bring hometown favorite and world champion Pernell Whitaker into the ring. George Foreman, he's a young man who has been called by many magazines, experts, observers in boxing, the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. What do you think of it?
If he can get by Diaz, all this stand-up European fighter type stuff, my foot. This guy is a good boxer. He can move left and right. He's a good puncher. He's got a fight on his hand. If he gets past this guy tonight, Hall of Fame.
You saw some signs, however, in Whitaker's last fight against Anthony Jones, a relatively little-known opponent, that he might be slipping backward a little bit.
There's no doubt in my mind he's not as quick as he was. Maybe he has more power, maybe not, but he's not as fast. His
well,
feet
we're going to see.
Just don't move.
Well, we're going to see, because tonight he's in there against a guy who, it appears to us, can sock another relatively unknown opponent, never before seen in the United States, Larry Merchant. Who is Paulie Diaz?
Well, after watching all those heavy guns from those heavyweights, he's a guy with a couple of pistols in his hands, and in fact, like Whitaker, he himself is a pistol in and out of the ring. It's been interesting watching him this week. He's sort of charmed us, and he's alarmed the Whitaker people a little bit because he hasn't taken a backward step at all in any of the pre-fight confrontations. He's aggravated Whitaker in particular, and as well as he might. He had 62 amateur fights, won them all. He's had 32 professional fights, won them all. Why shouldn't he believe he's going to make it 95-0 as a fighter? So he's here. He thinks he can win. The question that comes up is, can he fire those pistols fast enough and accurately enough to hit the most elusive target in boxing?
All right, you've got a huge contingent of, well, I say huge. It feels huge here. About 100 people up in the rafters chanting, Paulie, Paulie, Paulie. The Norfolk State Marching Band is getting ready. Let's ready for the next step in the life of Pernell Whitaker, public figure. The Norfolk, Virginia Beach area boasts the largest naval base in the Western world. This is also the biggest metropolitan region in the United States without a Major League professional franchise. Unless you consider for a moment boxing's undisputed lightweight champ, Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker. Riding the crest of a genuinely cultivated hometown hero image, Whitaker has established a remarkable following in a transient society that supports roughly 70 home games a year for baseball's Tidewater Tides, the New York Mets AAA affiliate, and in which the Hampton Roads Admirals play 30 home games and this year won the Eastern Continental Hockey League title. Like most towns, Norfolk likes winners, as evidenced when 6,000-plus fans braved the elements in an unprecedented snowstorm 2 years ago to watch Whitaker overwhelm Greg Haugen for the IBF lightweight title.
It's harder for him just in general to get constant name recognition, or at least publicity, just because of the few times that he fights. Some of that also goes back to the fact that he keeps his nose fairly clean and stays out of trouble, and so when he's not fighting, he's not in the news either, unlike some other boxers.
Hey, how y'all doing? All right, good. Good luck. All right, thanks a lot.
He hasn't just locked himself in some mansion out on the water. He is the guy that is always there when the local charities need him. He's the guy that's always there when the elementary school calls up and says, we want you to come out and talk about drug abuse, about staying in school. People are just tugging at him right and left, not to mention all the preparation he has now being in the prime of his boxing career. And do you know what? I have never heard the guy say no.
It's critical that we have a young man like this, especially a kid that came out of tough environment, tough situation. And while he became successful, he kept the common touch, he kept his grassroots.
Sweet Pea is our franchise. He is such a good ambassador in the sense that he brags and boasts and says awfully good things about his hometown and his home area everywhere he goes, and so he's a tremendous value to us.
With the value his townspeople place on him, Whitaker understands the responsibilities of a world-class athlete totally committed to his craft. But more impressively, he refuses to exercise an option most other boxing mercenaries couldn't resist.
Let's face it, Everybody knows he can make a lot more money fighting in Atlantic City or fighting in Las Vegas or fighting at Madison Square Gardens. But Pete feels that it's important to him to give this community a chance to see a championship fight.
Everyone can't afford a $250 ticket or $100 ticket. So $20, $30, and $40, they can afford that, and everybody will fill the scope up. So that's sort of like giving back, and they respect that, and they look forward to that. Because once they hear that, oh, sweet, oh, Purnell, he cut the prices for us so we can have the opportunity to come. That's giving back, and that's what I've done.
Giving back is the way it's done here. Recently, people honored the returning Desert Storm naval troops who served in the Persian Gulf. The locals are proud of their heroes, most particularly Navy pilot and former Iraqi prisoner of war, Lieutenant Jeffrey Zahn. But with most of the military home now, it's time for Purnell Sweet Pea Whitaker's latest homecoming.
Underwater camera. Yeah, come on, taking me out with them.
It's been a while. He's ready. And by the way, who says you can't go home again?
I'm looking forward to it because it's always exciting. I haven't been back in 2 years, so I know that, you know, 2 years, I've grown in 2 years, and I've matured in the last 2 years. So when they get a chance to come out and see a Purnell Whitaker show, I like the show to be special.
Coming up, live on HBO Sports, the World Lightweight Championship bout between Purnell Whitaker and Oli Diaz. 12 rounds of boxing action from the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia, Purnell Whitaker's hometown. A little bit earlier this evening, Oli Diaz complained to Scope officials when he came here and discovered that he was sharing his dressing quarters with some of the fighters on the undercard. While they prepared a personal dressing room for him, he came into the arena and introduced himself early to thousands of fans who are waiting to see him. Here he comes now, the #1 ranked WBA lightweight contender, and he is as effusive and outgoing a personality as can be found anywhere in the sport, Larry.
He backs it up by being the best he can be. Very well-conditioned athlete. Bought a home in the mountains outside of Madrid. Runs a mile up the mountain to finish off his training every day. Says he's been training for this fight for 4 years.
And to help make him feel at home here in Whitaker's home, there is a contingent upstairs in the rafters. I'm going to look at them and guess somewhere between 100 and 200 fans waving a Spanish flag, jumping up and down, even now amid the din, chanting, Poli, 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 and look at their star, a wild man.
When he won the Spanish championship, he won it in the other guy's hometown. When he won the European championship, he won it in Italy. So coming into the other guy's place doesn't seem to intimidate him.
Oli Diaz 32-0 with 21 knockouts. He claims that he was 62-0 as an amateur. We can't substantiate that. And if you take him at his word, he has never lost a fight.
Did somebody just score a touchdown?
Yes, Larry, we did. The Norfolk State University Marching Spartan Legion. The name of the song, if you want to call it that they are playing is Behold the Green and Gold. 110 members recruited from among alumni and active band members because school is not in session at this time. Here they come.
This time, Purnell Whitaker made sure that his fight wouldn't be an anticlimax as it was after the Camacho-Haugen fight, because he's got a hell of an act to follow.
Indeed he does. And while the band is doing this, Paulie Diaz is walking around the ring with a Spanish flag trailing him, blowing kisses to the audience.
Somehow this reminds me of Zaire.
Oh my goodness.
I'll tell you, George, when he goes back home, all those people in Spain are going to say, wow, they really make an event out of boxing in America.
George Foreman making reference to autumn 1974 in Zaire, the worst night of your life.
When you watch Diaz, you sit up there and wonder, man, what are they trying to do to me? Here's the drums, here's the marching. Am I at home or not?
If you start to chant Ali Boumaier, you're in trouble
That's
again.
when Diaz may jump out of the ring.
For Pernell Whitaker, this is the equivalent of a Fifth Avenue parade.
The familiar figure of Lou Duva. Behind him, Whitaker, shrouded in royal blue. Researchers say you can get damage worse than that. And finally, Whitaker emerges. Pernell Whitaker's only loss was to Jose Luis Ramirez of Mexico in Paris, France in 1988. He avenged that loss 1 year later here in Norfolk. Otherwise, 24 victories, 13 KOs. And so we take you to the tail of the tape, and you will see that Whitaker weighed in right at the limit. Diaz was a little light. Surprising, because Paulie Diaz, Larry Merchant, is as deep-chested and muscular a lightweight as we've ever seen.
Yeah, he looks like a welterweight from the chest up.
Bunch-stat numbers, Larry.
It's hard to know what to make of these numbers. Whitaker is the more active fighter, but basically we don't know the opposition that Diaz has faced, what caliber it was, what any of this means. He does throw a lot of hard punches, as the jab totals will show. There they are. You see that Diaz doesn't use the jab very much at all. For Whitaker, it is a principal weapon.
Harold Letterman with the rules.
Well, Paulie Diaz and Pernell Whitaker are going to fight under the rules of the World Boxing Association. 3 judges will score the fight on a 10-point must system. No standing 8 count. 3 knockdowns in any one round will end the fight, and you can be saved by the bell in the last round only. And the only ones that can stop the fight are the referee and Commissioner Doug Beavers, but not the doctor.
Let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, Main Events Monitor, in association with the undisputed King of Beer, Budweiser, presents the featured bout of the evening. This bout is approved by the Virginia State Athletic Commission, Boxing Commissioner Doug Beavers. It is sanctioned by the International Boxing Federation, President Robert W. Lee, represented at ringside by Bill Brennan. The World Boxing Council, President Jose Suleiman, represented by Hector Garcia. The rules and regulations of the World Boxing Association will be in effect. President Gilberto Mendoza, supervisor at ringside Jorge Clee. All the officials from the state of Virginia will remain the same. The judges scoring this bout on a 10-point must system will be Sheila Harmon Martin from the United States, Julio Roldan from Venezuela, and Biba Exton, also from the United States. The man in charge of the action in the ring at this time is referee Al Rothenberg from the state of Virginia. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Norfolk, Virginia's famous Scope Arena, let's get ready to rumble! Championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the red trunks with white trim and weighing in at 133 3/4 pounds. His professional record, an unbelievable 32-0 with 21 KOs. Damas y caballeros, de Palomeras, España, el número 1 rival del mundo, Paulie Diaz. And across the ring in the blue corner, wearing the blue trunks with white trim, weighing an even 135 pounds. This 1984 Olympic gold medal champion has a professional record of 25 victories, only 1 defeat, 13 KOs. From Norfolk, Virginia, ladies and gentlemen, the undisputed lightweight champion of the world, Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker.
Gentlemen, you have your instructions in the dressing room. All I'm going to do is emphasize what I said before. You must obey all my commands. That's all I'm going to tell you. Touch gloves now. Let's have a good fight. Touch gloves.
The question, as in any fight with Pernell Whitaker, is can the other guy land enough punches to change the tide of the punch of the fight? Pernell Whitaker is a master at neutralizing and frustrating opponents.
Indeed, Pernell sounded like a basketball coach yesterday when he said, my offense comes off of my defense. If my defense is working, I'm going to land punches.
The first punches have been thrown, the tension is gone.
What an atmosphere, though.
Boy, I'm even nervous.
Diaz will try to work from side to side to set up counter punches. Whitaker likes to come straight up the middle. Paulie Diaz lands a left over the top. Whitaker trying to establish the jab early.
Whitaker doesn't understand that this guy is quicker than he is. Whole round could go by and he would not have landed one shot if he's not careful.
Well, it's impossible for Pernell to imagine that he's fighting somebody quicker than himself.
So
he doesn't believe he's ever been in that situation before.
He's thinking he's a big puncher following this guy and losing the round. If you're going to be an aggressor, throw little punches.
What a contrast between the technicianship of Whitaker and the wild swinging of Paulie Diaz.
And when Whitaker catches him, he's not going to hit him with a dynamically hard punch. So why is he following him looking for one good shot?
Diaz gets in the right hand twice.
A good body punch, a good left to the body by Whitaker.
Whitaker trying to stick the jab into Diaz's face. And Diaz counters and comes back with wide lefts and rights, and a couple of them landed again.
And the judges love it. Whoa. That hurt.
Whitaker says that he hurt his left hand against Anthony Jones late in that fight. Didn't seem to use it much in the closing round.
He has already landed a good punch to Diaz, and it hurt. Straight right hand. Left hand, I'm sorry.
Left hand inside to the body by Pernell Whitaker. Diaz dancing side to side, trying to set up one of those wide swinging right hands. Becomes the aggressor as the round comes to a close.
Diaz wants to make a brawl out of it. And I thought he won that round. He threw Whitaker off his game. Wait till he throws. Wait till he throws. You work inside. Go inside. Go at him. Throw your right hand. Throw your right hand. Wait till he gets in. Once he gets in, he throw your combinations.
More to the body, but look, don't throw one punch at him. Throw 2, 3 punches at him, but you got to keep those hands up.
As always, our Spanish interpreter in Poli Diaz's corner is Ruben Castillo. Neither fighter very accurate in round one. It was a feeling out round. And now the crowd has settled into its seats.
Diaz came in lighter, so he'll be able to move a lot longer than Whitaker.
Well, this is unorthodox stuff, to say the least. It's not something you spar against or train against.
A good right jab by Whitaker, but it's only one jab to 100 shots by Diaz.
Whitaker missed a lot with the jab in round one, couldn't get close enough to Diaz. And that was a trip. And you're going to see the two fighters get their feet caught with one another a lot. And Al Rothenberg elects to give Diaz a standing 8 count.
It was a knockdown.
You think it was a knockdown?
It was a knockdown.
I think their feet were tied up, George.
That too.
All right, call it a knockdown officially.
Whoa!
And now Diaz almost gets one. It's Whitaker.
He almost got a knockdown.
Yeah, Whitaker had to rely on the ropes to hold him up.
Good body punch. Good right hand to the body by Diaz. That hurt. Whitaker's trying to pay him back now.
And another solid right to the body by Diaz, who lunges forward and makes it look awkward, but is effective in doing it. Now Whitaker lands a left hand to swat Diaz away as he tries to lunge in again.
Great champion. Now Whitaker's moving his legs.
A Whitaker trademark coming around from behind his opponent. Diaz didn't like him and whacked him with the left hand.
Diaz is throwing roundhouses. He's throwing roundhouses, but they're too quick to get out of the way of him.
And again, Whitaker almost goes down and uses the ropes to stay up. This is bizarre stuff, George. You would never school a fighter to do this.
No. This is not the time to leave your television and go and get a sandwich. Diaz is starting to slow down, which is what he does best. When he slows down, he'll counterpunch you. Whoa!
Left hand from Whitaker.
That hurt.
This is a guy with a scalpel fighting a guy with a hammer. The guy with the scalpel is looking for a hammer someplace to make it an even fight.
You can't throw so many punches. You gotta wait for him. Throw the right hand. When you get in, throw your punches to the body. You're too far away from him, Paulie.
Let's see if that was a real knockdown.
That's the punch. That's the punch.
I don't think it was a knockdown, George. I think it was a slip. A right-hander against a left-hander. Their knees crossed. I don't think the punch did the damage.
I agree. George, you still want to call it a knockdown?
Well, that's okay. You got the ref on your side, George.
You can stick by it if you want to. Come on. Round 3 begins. Whitaker ineffective so far with the jab. Only 14 of 58.
Let go, hold it, let go, let go, let go, hold it, stop it. Break.
Whitaker's looking for a knockout on a guy that he's not going to get with a hard shot just one at a time. Why he's doing it, I can't understand.
Because he's frustrated already, right?
This guy Diaz knows how to move. He's got 30 fights.
Whitaker landed a left. Diaz came back with a right of his own. And another. Holy Diaz swinging wildly, but landing to the body and to the head.
Those roundhouses are landing on the top of the head. Anything could happen anytime.
It's interesting, George, that the guy with the round punches is beating the guy with the straight punches to the punch.
Because the round punches are coming quicker.
Well, it's almost unbelievable. I mean, if you told the boxing purist what you were seeing and he couldn't see it himself, he would say, no, you can't be seeing it correctly.
Whitaker trying to land one hard shot as though he's a big heavyweight.
Well, and in doing so, is he abandoning what he does best, George?
That's right. He can easily get cut now because he's landing one shot at a time.
Look at Whitaker trying to load up the left hand.
It ain't gonna happen like that.
Totally uncharacteristic, and Diaz takes advantage by stepping forward and pounding to the body. Pernell Whitaker has forgotten who he is in there.
I think we have to remember this, though, Jim and George. Diaz is making him do things he doesn't want to do, and maybe that he can't do. Give Diaz the credit for making him do this kind of
Whitaker
stuff.
was hurt that time, actually hurt. If Diaz corner can calm him down and pace him, he can win this thing tonight. The title's going to change hands.
Well, it would be one of the biggest upsets in recent years in boxing. Oh, solid uppercut by Whitaker, and that stops Diaz for a second. And Pernell steps forward and lands a right.
Only one punch at a time, Whitaker.
Pernell holding Diaz and pounding low blows and getting away with it. 2 in a row below the belt. Al Rothenberg says don't hold him and hit him, and Whitaker gets away with another low blow. Diaz hasn't complained yet. Right hand from Whitaker landed flush on the jaw of Paulie Diaz as they traded punches at the end of the round.
Every time you hit the body. How do you feel about it now? You won't stand on top of it. That's the only thing you do. Just walk through and stand on top of it. You understand? Don't reach at it. Walk through with your hands high. When you get close, cut loose with both hands, right? So the guys shoot on that side, but you just got to be careful you don't get into the swing. Right? He's swinging at you. So all you got to do is just get under the swing. Just bend your back, have your hands up good and high. Touch to that body with both hands, you understand? So the guy's a piece of shit really, but he's just a swinger, you know? Now don't be reaching at him with your jab, just stick your jab out. Stick your jab out, 2, 3 jabs, right? Okay. Hey, that body punch, every time he hits his body, he can't do nothing, right? Bang that wrist. Turn him. Bang those wrists. Don't pull out.
Second down. The secret to what Diaz is doing, George, is he doesn't throw just one punch. Whitaker is waiting for him to stop, but he don't stop.
Diaz used the stool for the first time.
Well, whether through his own inefficiency or because of the awkwardness of Diaz, Whitaker's main weapon is gone. He landed only 2 of 20 jabs in round number 3. For the moment, it appears he's going to have to find another way to break down Paulie Diaz's defense.
George Benton, his trainer, advised him to duck under those wild swings and throw punches to the body. Let's see if he can do it.
Whitaker, as was the case in his last fight against Anthony Baby Jones, George, looks a little flat-footed, not using the great speed and footwork that typified his earlier career.
No longer has footwork. It's gone. All of this talk about the best fighter pound for pound, sometimes it goes to our head. It leads us to stop developing our talent.
Whitaker landed the left, but it wasn't a heavy blow. Diaz doing at least as much damage with his body punches as Whitaker does when he gets one over the top. Where would the footwork have gone, George?
Oh, it's gone to his head. People are complimenting him a bit too much. He's like an artist. Sometimes nobody really appreciates it. I'm not going to do it anymore. Starting to produce bad art.
Here's another thing, George. Whitaker is in a rare position for himself. He is the aggressor because this guy's awkward style. He's not used to fighting in this kind of style.
Well, you can create and make this guy come to you. You hit him 3 times and you run backwards.
As fighters will often do, Pernell Whitaker told us yesterday that he'd never felt better, never been stronger, never been quicker, and more prepared. It does not always look that way tonight.
He's been beat by a lesser fighter only because he's doing something he shouldn't do. Look for one knockout shot.
Whitaker trading punches with Paulie Diaz and taking 2 heavy shots to the body.
For the first time, Diaz has started to hold, so the body punches are starting to wear him down. That hurts.
And you can tell it hurt because Diaz is smiling.
Keep him up, dude. Keep him up.
Referee asks Whitaker to keep him up. Harold Letterman, show us your scorecard after 4 rounds.
Well, Jim, I've got it a surprisingly close 38-37, 2 rounds apiece, but 1 point in favor of Pernell Whitaker based on a knockdown in round number 2. Jim, we have 4 officials in this fight, interestingly enough. 3 judges were appointed by the IBF, the WBA, and the WBC. Virginia appointed the referee, and surprisingly enough, 3 out of the 4 do come from Virginia. So I don't know what it's going to mean, but that's the story.
I didn't give Whitaker an extra point for that knockdown because he didn't do anything the rest of the round. In particular, it was a flash knockdown at best, or at worst. I have it 2 rounds apiece.
Stay there, Pete. Stay there, Pete. Stay here, Pete. Stay there.
And punch stat numbers would substantiate both of you on the closeness of the fight. Both fighters have thrown 195 punches through the first 4 rounds. They have landed 66 for Diaz, 65 for Whitaker. Could hardly be closer.
Diaz is starting to coast a little bit. He's resting up for the long haul.
Paulie Diaz's cornerman asks him between rounds to stay on his toes and keep moving, not to stand still and allow Whitaker to hit him with the left like that. Pernell is down for a moment. Well, Al Rothenberg isn't going to call that one a knockdown. Pernell went to the canvas by himself.
I like what Diaz did there. Whitaker did one of his acts where he bent all the way down. Diaz just popped him right on the top of the head.
That's it.
That's when you think the sky is falling.
Diaz has purposely gone out of his way to fight southpaws to get ready for the
real knockdown.
Whitaker
real knockdown.
Al Rothenberg is going to call it.
Now, why isn't it called a knockdown?
Now I want to argue about that one.
Well, it looked that way to us.
Almost another real knockdown.
Yeah, because Paulie Diaz stepped inside of Whitaker's left and pounded a right hand to Whitaker's face.
Good body punch. Whitaker's going for a knockout.
And Diaz, playing a little possum, comes back with the right hand. And now they're trading blows to the face.
He's hurt. Probably.
I think he's
probably the right side of his ribs are broken.
We've got a full-scale brawl, but you're right. Paulie Diaz is in a lot of pain.
He's got a broken rib. He's got a broken rib.
Whitaker loses his balance for the moment. Well, he's either got a broken rib or he took a whale of a low blow. But the way he's holding his right arm leads you to believe that maybe he has sustained a broken rib.
I can tell you one thing. I'm not a doctor, but I want to go to medicine school. School of medicine right now.
Well, you're pretty good on this stuff.
Watch your head.
A right and a left for Whitaker landed flush. Diaz somehow kept the mouthpiece in. And you can see that Diaz is in trouble, although he comes forward with the right hand again.
Step back, step back, step back, step back.
Yeah, I would prescribe, watch your ribs right now.
Wow! Wow! What a night!
It looks like the six-shooters can hit just as hard as those heavy guns, George.
Boy, this is a great one.
Okay, you have recuperated. Nothing's going to happen. Keep your hands up. He's looking for your ribs.
Here is Pernell Whitaker showing that he can get into a street fight and do damage. And he's doing the damage where his trainer, George Benton, wanted him to do it, to the body.
But if he doesn't get a knockout, believe me, he's going to lose this fight.
Crowd now chanting, sweet pea, sweet pea, sweet pea. And Pernell has gone to the power game. Landed 27 of 38 power punches in round number 5. Many of them to the body. But if Diaz has a broken rib, it hasn't affected his winking. He was winking at people at ringside between rounds.
Believe me, I'm not a doctor. But I'll tell you, I would prescribe. Hold on.
I got it. Stop it.
Those body punches doing a lot of damage now, George.
Boy, Whitaker's a puncher after all.
When Pernell goes to the body, Paulie stops punching.
Just can no longer take it.
Diaz waves hello to the crowd and then steps in to pound Whitaker on the top of the head with the left hand.
Whitaker allowed him to get a second win. You can believe Diaz has put on a better show than people would have thought he would. A champion.
Well, I got to tell you, after we left poolside yesterday, there were plenty of people in our group who thought he might have a chance to win the fight, just based on the confidence he showed in that conversation. And you've seen that cockiness in the ring tonight. what a shot by Diaz. A right to the body and a right to the head.
Whitaker almost went down.
I don't think I've ever seen Purnell take this many hard punches in a fight.
I got it, hold it, stop.
And it's only because he wants to be the puncher tonight. He's not moving his head left and right. He's just coming in, head straight up.
Well, he wasn't landing the jab at all, so he had to go to some other plan. The left hand drives Diaz back into the ropes. Whitaker looks very calm now. Much more collected than he did 2 rounds ago.
He hits him with a good right hand, and then he lets him get away.
Whitaker is really beginning to clock Diaz with the left hand over the top.
Take your step back.
Another right hand.
Throws that right hand like one of those baseball pitchers. He winds up.
Well, it's entirely a counter shot. He waits for you to commit on the left side, and he brings it at you.
Correct.
You have to give this man credit. His first instinct when he gets hit is to hit the other guy back. That's what champions are made of.
Pretty.
Los golpes que saque los tienes que sacar con todo el alma. Tienes que sacarlo para quitar el alma.
Well, the punches that you go, you got to throw them with all your might. I'm recuperating. Breathe deep, real deep.
Well, yeah. Both of them out, right? So the guy, he won't fight on that side. He's just trying to hold you. You know, just bullshitting on his feet, right?
Just hold those hands up and keep them in front of him, but watch him, okay? But the hands got to be up, okay?
Let him go. Stay there, Pete. Stay there, Pete. Going back.
Whitaker threw 71 punches in the last round. Let's see if he can be as busy again in stanza number 7.
Diaz only gets hits when he gets lazy and he stops and wonders what's going on.
Another left hand over the top. More and more, Whitaker is able to initiate the action. And less does Diaz answer back.
Never seen it quite like that.
Slow-moving, measured, power-punching Purnell Whitaker. Flat-footed, stalking Coley Diaz, and clearly at this point looking for a knockout opportunity. This is a whole new Purnell.
Break, step back, that's it.
Seems to have lost his footwork, but believe me, he's got a power to take care of himself.
Well, but can he finish, George?
No. He's looking for a one-shot knockout. Seldom happen in that weight class. That hurt.
A puncher like Chavez has finished opponents at this stage and fight down here at this weight class, but not Purnell.
Boy, Whitaker was hurt with a straight right hand.
Yeah, but Diaz looks to me to have run out of gas a little bit.
There's no doubt. The body punching, taking a toll.
cameraman.
Those are still photographers that Al Rothenberg is urging to move back. Whitaker chasing Diaz into the corner. And Rothenberg calls it a knockdown. Second knockdown of the fight for Pernell Whitaker.
That was a knockdown.
And that was a knockdown produced by Whitaker's increasing dominance as he simply swarmed the opponent to the floor.
No problem. Tienes que salir a palo con el Poli. You gotta go up. Tienes que salir a palos, a palos. You gotta go out throwing punches. You gotta go out throwing punches. No, bien. No tienes nada. Métete en el centro. Ahí con él a garrotazo, Poli. Garrotazo.
Let's take a look and see that knockdown in the corner. The right hand. It was a knockdown. This is not a sweet pea that's been seen here before in Norfolk or almost anywhere else.
Well, if he can finish, they're going to love him.
You know, as we've said before, when a boxer starts to slow down a little bit, that's when he has his most interesting and dramatic fights.
He's going to pull a rabbit out of the hat tonight.
You know, George, he's never had a knockout past the 6th round in his whole career. It's a hard thing for most fighters to do. Diaz running a little bit now. Pernell content to stalk and measure.
Never there was a time to run. This is the time to run.
Well, Paulie Diaz's quickness is gone, though, George. You saw him paw those 2 punches. No longer are they lightning deliveries as they were in the first 3 rounds.
He's tasted the power of Pernell Whitaker now. He doesn't want any more of that.
Surprising power. You saw the left hand solid on the chin. Diaz begins to run again.
This is running and not boxing, and a referee can penalize a fighter for doing this.
This is quite a compliment to Pernell Whitaker. What Diaz is saying with that is that for the moment he wants no part of Sweet Pea, and there's the reason why.
Like my mama used to tell me, son, it's better they say there he went than there he lay.
Well, he got in a right-hand shot there. A good counter. And Pernell gets the shot. Wraps Diaz against the ropes and pounds him twice to the body. Al Rothenberg says don't hit and hold. Pernell comes back to the body, and Diaz may not have much left. A lot of leather.
Those body punches are really killing this guy.
The cocky expression is gone from the face of Paulie Diaz. He looks worried and troubled.
Maybe he's been in this predicament before, though.
Watch it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Get down on your knee. Knock it. Knock that shit, Pete. Get down on your knee.
The old on your one knee trick.
By Whitaker as he comes straight up the middle against the wide winging shots of Diaz and landed a left and a right. And now some of the old footwork begins to come back as he cuts off the ring. Harold Letterman, your scorecard through 8 rounds.
Well, Jim, as we can see, I've got 10 rounds, 6 rounds to 2, 78-72, a commanding 6-point lead for Pernell Whitaker. I'll tell you the truth, guys. I haven't seen Paulie Diaz do much since the 3rd round. It's been all Purnell. He's landing the cleaner, harder shots. He's virtually chasing Paulie Diaz out of the ring. The only thing I can't understand is when Paulie Diaz circles to his right, I can't see why Purnell doesn't nail him with a left hand. Because Purnell's a southpaw.
You put him in overdrive, you got to say, shit, I got to stop. Right? My guy's got nothing left. Second guy? Hands up high. Second guy? Oh, we got to go.
You know, as in with all fighters, Lou Duva and George Benton, there really is a wonderful sense of synchronization and cooperation between them on exactly what the next move is to maintain the fighter's poise and give him something to do.
Diaz no longer respects the power of Pernell Whitaker now.
Yeah, he's just taking it.
But I believe he can win this fight. He's the knockout.
You still believe Diaz can win the fight?
I think so.
How?
He's going to catch this guy sleeping, walking in, sleepwalking, and tag him with a straight right hand.
Well, he's landed some solid rights, and Purnell is still there staring him in the face.
That was a good right.
All right, we'll see.
It's going to be by surprise when he catches him sleepwalking.
Right hand inside landed by Diaz.
And it was
Whitaker stopped in his track, yeah.
He's going to catch him sleepwalking there. He's got to remember, good footwork by Whitaker.
So you're saying Whitaker looks a little too confident for your taste right now?
That's right. He's fighting a real champion. This guy's a European lightweight champion.
And again, Diaz lands a counter right. 3 most significant blows he's landed in the last 3 rounds. Great left hand by Whitaker. Got through the defense.
Diaz, in the films I saw of him earlier, he likes to stand there and wait for you to make mistakes.
Whitaker going back to the flat-footed motion of the early rounds for a moment.
Whitaker could be playing with a cobra. But the right side of Diaz is such bad damage. I don't understand.
Crowd chanting, "Sweet pea, sweet pea." And now upstairs they come back with Paulie, and he lands a looping left. There's not much snap behind him.
Believe me, it's like playing with a snake and walk right into a good right hand, Whitaker.
Whitaker landed 2 solid blows, but the referee wants to say that one was a slip.
Almost turned into a Hulk Hogan show there.
So maybe that evens things up for the early knockdown, which we thought was clearly a slip.
Respira tranquilo. Respira, Polilla, te está recuperando, está metiendo en segundo área, no hay problema, Poli, no hay problema.
There's no problems, Poli. Don't throw so many punches. You've got to look for those shots. You've got to look for them.
Se le está notando muchísimo cuando entra, Poli, se le está notando mucho.
He's taking a lot of shots when he comes in.
Venga, Poli. Y el juego izquierda, Poli, el juego izquierda está entrando. Subida, hay que subir. Venga. Oiga, tienes que respirar, estás bien, Poli.
Let's see it. Hit or trip? Trip.
He really thought Purnell tripped him. That's why he wanted to pull his leg.
Yeah, I think he tripped himself, actually, by running over Purnell's stationary leg.
Good call. It was very much like the first knockdown. Remember, the first time around, Rothenberg called it a knockdown. There has been one solid, distinctive, and indisputable knockdown in the fight. One other, perhaps slip, called a knockdown, and now the slip is called a slip. Any way you slice it, Diaz has been on the canvas 3 times.
Whitaker doesn't know what he's playing with.
Round 10 of a scheduled 12. Oli Diaz is used to this. He's been 10 rounds twice and 12 rounds 3 times in his career. Solid, accurate punching from Pernell Whitaker now, who taunts Diaz with his arms at his sides.
Like I said, he doesn't know what he's playing with. This guy is a good puncher in the last couple of rounds.
Oli Diaz has never knocked anybody out beyond the 10th round. Pernell Whitaker has never scored a knockout beyond the 6th round. So more and more it looks as though this will go to the judges.
Whitaker seems so intent to get a knockout.
Diaz missing over the top with the right hand.
That left, the right side of...
What's that? Go ahead.
The right side of Diaz is hurt so bad, he's afraid to commit himself with that right hand. He's being reluctant because he doesn't want to get himself hurt.
There he swings the right, and Pernell digs to the body underneath it. Right hand misses by Diaz. Whitaker lands the left again. Crowd responds enthusiastically. Round 10 coming to a close.
Diaz is trying to charm him.
Diaz has gone back to holding the right hand very close to his ribcage.
Once that punch was landed low, he hasn't overcome yet.
Win the fight. Now you're a professional fighter. Win this fight. Don't get cute and be dropping your hand and fight it like you're supposed to. You understand? The fight ain't over until the fucking bell rings and you put this guy down, right? Pull him up. All right, let's do it, baby. Let's fight like a pro.
Just box this guy, do a paint job on him, then
got this. All right, you doing good. All right, okay. Lose on no bullshit. All right, come on. Just what you've been doing. Stick him and stab him. Make him miss. Hit him in the body. Catch punches, block punches.
Watch Whitaker. Whitaker has done a really fine job in this fight of maintaining his poise in the face of a highly motivated, well-conditioned, tough guy, awkward guy, until he could seize the control of the fight. In the last round, it was looking like he was going to start to play now that he had captured the momentum of the fight. Georgie Benton made him settle down in the corner, said, be a professional, none of that wise guy stuff. Just go out there and win the fight.
George Benton, trainer of the year in the eyes of the United States boxing writers, and you saw the punch stat numbers that showed that the jab, which utterly deserted Pernell in the early parts of the bout, is now back with a vengeance. He landed 37 jabs in that last round.
Whitaker's developed into a great puncher. No longer master footwork.
Well, he doesn't look powerful at all, George.
I got it. Hold it.
Oli Diaz digging desperately at Whitaker as he tries to muscle him around the ring.
He's done a fine job. Hadn't been for that sore rib.
Diaz to the center of the ring, says, come with me. Oli tries to chase him down, and now Diaz is grinning momentarily. And Pernell begins to jab the grin away.
He's hurt, Pernell. Whitaker was hurt. Oh, straight right hand.
I don't think Foley knows it. I don't think Diaz knows it.
It was kind of straight. Let me put it like that.
It's interesting. Whitaker looked into the corner with a kind of bashful look on his face, as if to say to Georgie Baden, you were right. I shouldn't fool around. I should take care of business. Because while he was fooling around, he got nailed.
Watch your heads. Watch your heads.
This fight goes to the judges. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, but they're Norfolk, Virginia judges, George.
Then you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Of course you know what's going to happen.
Well, even the judges can't get this one wrong. A good fighter takes it out of the hands of the judges, and Whitaker has done that here.
I think it's a tremendously impressive performance for Whitaker, by virtue of exactly what you said, Larry. He was in trouble tactically early, and he found a way to turn that around.
But Diaz, in my book, won 6 of those first rounds. Hey, anything can happen.
I got it. I got it.
But my book is not a very good book.
Your book is still learning, George.
Watch your head. Watch your head, Pete.
3 minutes to go.
I think I made my little mistake. Listen, go out there this round. First got about as open as you can. Bien profundo. Bien profundo. Dámela profundo, papá.
Breathe in.
We touched off. Last round. Este es el último round.
This is the last round. This is the last round for you. You gotta give it all.
Es el último. Choque aguante. La vida, Poli, ahora.
Your
Ahora
life.
tienes que darlo
This
todo.
is it.
Poli, es el último.
And if you can make him pay, you make him pay. But don't get hit with no crazy nothing. Okay.
Last round, baby. Hold those hands up high. That's all you have to do.
Stay inside.
Right?
Because the guy's nothing inside. See, but on the outside, he'll let you hit.
Está bien, Poli, ya está recuperado, Poli. Ven.
Okay, you've already recuperated now. Come on.
Harold Letterman, how do you have the fight as we go into the 12th round?
Advantage for Pernell Whitaker going into the last round. Pernell can't lose this fight. No way.
There is a way, Harold, but it may not happen.
In case you didn't hear Harold above the noise of this crowd, he said he has the fight 9 rounds to 2 for Whitaker.
Watch your head.
The judges are from Norfolk, Virginia. The crowd is from Norfolk, Virginia. Pernell Whitaker is from Norfolk, Virginia. Everything is against Foley Diaz now with fewer than 3 minutes to go.
In Las Vegas, if this fight had occurred, Diaz winning the first 6 rounds and pull this one out, could easily win this thing.
You know, Paulie Diaz has said that he wanted all his life to fight in America. He trained 4 years for this fight. He's left nothing back in Spain.
And he's just butted Pernell Whitaker above the left eye.
He cannot stop and get himself rest because he's been butted.
Watch your head.
And referee Al Rothenberg says, go ahead.
Do that to me. You hear me?
And Whitaker pushed Rothenberg, and Rothenberg doesn't like it. And they settle matters, and Diaz got a long rest.
I got it.
And let's see what he can come on with now.
Watch your head now. Knock that shit off.
Whitaker better pay attention to what he's doing. This is a boxing match.
Diaz is... Oh, this is wild. Diaz's corner told him to do anything he has to do, and obviously he took them at their word.
Come on.
Well, this must be the way they do it in Spain.
Come on, Phil. Watch yourself.
Solid right hand from Diaz, and Whitaker is hurt.
He's hurt. He's holding Pernell
He's
Whitaker.
still woozy from the right hand. Now he's yelling at George Benton that he's okay.
His corner should leave him alone.
Benton is screaming at him to keep his hands up.
Seems to be more worried about his corner than the other opponent.
stop.
Hey, he was saved by the referee that time.
I got it. Come on, step it back. Step it back.
No longer a boxing match, it's a war.
No, Diaz is trying to turn it into a bullfight.
That's right.
I got it. I got it. Stop your head. Stop your head. Come on.
Purnell's going to make it.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it.
I was about to say Paulie Diaz didn't leave anything back in Spain. He left it all here in this ring. I give him the highest marks for doing the best he could against a really, really good fighter.
I agree.
And despite whatever you may want to say about lost speed or lost footwork in the end, it was another tribute to the technicianship, the skill, and the ring management capability of Pernell Whitaker. He turned the fight around.
He better be careful. He may get hit Diaz with a candy bar now.
Harold Letterman, your scorecard for the fight.
Jim, 117, 109, 9 rounds to 3, Pernell Whitaker. Pernell Whitaker won easy. I mean, absolutely no question about it. I think that there's no way he can lose this fight. You know, in the very last round, Paulie Diaz tried to butt him to try to get even, but it's all Pernell Whitaker. As you said, he just outbanged him. Too much of a ring general.
George, you think Whitaker's going to get the decision?
I'm afraid if it had been judges elsewhere, Diaz could win this boxing match.
All right, let's take a look at the butt. And we mentioned that Diaz was told by his cornermen to do anything and everything he could. And he took advantage of an opportunity to pop Pernell, and that hurts, George.
That really hurts. And unfortunate for Diaz, not good sportsmanship.
And we're waiting to see if Michael Buffer is ready with the official decision. I don't believe that's the case. So right now, while officials here scurry to try to gather scorecards and bring together the result of the fight, you see Paulie Diaz still playing to the crowd and getting mixed cheers and boos. Probably he won the support of a few here tonight with his wild, unorthodox, and unusual attack. And Pernell Whitaker, who no doubt had some nervous moments and gave his corner some nervous moments, particularly in the early rounds, squints and tries to get the buzzing pain above his left eye to go away as he waits to hear. And now for the first time, the two fighters show a moment of mutual respect. They met in Spain last year when Whitaker fought there in Madrid, and they didn't like each other then. Whitaker threw 582 punches according to HBO punch stat statistics in the bout, landed 304. His accuracy increased consistently from round 1 through round 12. And you saw the numbers for Paulie Diaz. There is a Virginia Commonwealth boxing official in the middle of the ring with a cellular phone. I don't know if the judges have left the arena or not.
Over here. Over here.
Harold, do you care to hazard a guess as to why this is taking so long?
WBA doesn't speak very good English, and he may be having difficulty interpreting the scores with Doug Beavers, the Virginia commissioner.
The supervisor from the WBA.
Yes.
He'll be the one collecting the scorecards. You see referee Al Rothenberg waiting. And now I think Michael Buffer's ready with the official decision in the fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards. Sheila Hammond Martin scores about 120 to 107. Viva Exton scores about 119 to 107. And Julio Roldan scores at 119 to 108. For the winner by unanimous decision, and still undisputed lightweight champion of the world, Pernell Whitaker.
So Pernell Whitaker, who according to our figuring landed 65 to 70% of his punches in the late rounds, comes up with a unanimous decision, and by the numbers on those scorecards, a near whitewash over Paulie Diaz. And we go to Larry Merchant with Sweet Pea.
Okay, Pernell Whitaker That was not a Pernell Whitaker kind of fight. He turned that into an alley fight and forced you to fight his fight, at least for the first half of it.
Well, Larry, that's the game. That's why I have a great staff, great organization. We went in there, we just wanted to punish him. I didn't want to knock him out, knock him down, or anything. I did exactly what I wanted to do. I punished him. He came in my town, he disrespected everybody, and we punished him for 12 rounds.
We've talked about moving up to the 140-pound class. What are your plans?
My plans right now are to go on vacation with my boys.
In the ring.
Well, in the ring, it's no plans. I guess we're looking towards Paez or whatever. But in the future, the near future, I will be moving up to a much stronger. I'll be much stronger. But I'm very strong and physical right now. And you can tell it in the ring. I just didn't want to get careless. He's a swinger, he's a professional, and he was #1 contender. I'm very pleased. I couldn't have done any better.
Thank you very much. Let's go back to ringside with Jim and George.
All right, Larry, thanks very much. Pernell Whitaker, unanimous decision winner. And George, we heard Pernell there talking about his future. One more likely fight at 135 pounds against Jorge Paez sometime in the fall. And then Pernell, for his part, is expecting to move on up to 140 pounds. Now, he pounded away at this guy for the last 6 or 7 rounds of the bout and couldn't finish him. Can he punch well enough to go up 5 pounds in weight?
He's got the power, no doubt about it. If power is going to do it, he's standing flat-footed enough to punch. And he could knock out a bigger guy. If this guy had not been moving so much, he would have had a knockout tonight.
He's moving on toward 28 years old, toward what would have to be the prime and maybe beyond that just a little bit the latter stages of his boxing career. Could he learn to be a flat-footed knockout puncher as that speed and maneuverability that made him so great goes away?
I'll tell you one thing, the great Sugar Ray Robinson, of course, even great Sugar Ray Leonard. These guys moved up with power. They stood a little closer to the ground. They had a little more confidence in that punch. He can become a middleweight, even a middleweight champion if he gets a little older, maybe 35.
You know, in June we had a good time in Palm Springs, California, and what a scene this was tonight, huh? We don't always have to be in Vegas or Atlantic City for boxing.
I'm telling you, this is the best fight of all.
You loved it, huh?
I enjoyed that one.
Great. We had a great time, too. Larry Merchant, your closing comments on Michael Moore's victory, Pernell Whitaker's victory, and a tremendously exciting evening of boxing here in Norfolk, Virginia.
I have two thoughts. One is that boxers like Pernell Whitaker seldom inspire a national kind of following, unless they're brilliant boxers and personalities like a Muhammad Ali and a Ray Leonard. What they can inspire is an ethnic following or a regional following. And we saw here that Pernell Whitaker did an excellent job, and I think part of it had to do with the fact that he was right here in his hometown and inspired by this crowd and wanting to do his best, because he could have had his hands fuller than they were if he wasn't ready to do battle. The second thing about Michael Moore, there's the oddest story about Michael Moore. He has one of the most unusual rituals I've ever heard of. He lives in a lovely home, but when he goes into training for a fight, he goes into Manuel Stewart's home, goes down in the cellar, into a small 7-by-9-foot cubicle with a bed and a small television, and stays there until they're ready to go to the fight. Weeks, months, no matter how long it is. When he comes out, he's got his game face on, and we saw a fighter tonight who's vaulted into the top of the young heavyweight group and a force to be reckoned with and a crowd-pleasing fighter.
Well, you said before the fight that you rated him 5th among the young heavyweights, behind Bowe and Lennox Lewis and Mercer and Morrison. Where does he rank after having knocked out Alex Stewart in the 4th round?
Well, I'd have to say that I'd move him up right behind Bowe. I think Bowe has fought a better class of opposition so far, but he's right up there. He's ready to take over. He'll be a force in another year or so to fight for the title.
All right. Well, the hard punching was the lucky rabbit's foot tonight for Michael Moore. Maybe the home crowd was the lucky rabbit foot for Pernell Whitaker. We've only had George Foreman with us for a few months now, and we're seeing nothing but excitement in the ring. It looks like George has brought us a little good luck, too. In the first fight you saw tonight, Michael Moore scored a 4th-round technical knockout of Alex Stewart at 1:57 of the 4th. The fight stopped because of 2 large and prolific cuts over the eyes of Alex Stewart. You saw terrific punching with both hands from both of the fighters in that bout. It was excitement all the way. And then, before one of the wildest crowds we've ever seen at a boxing match, Pernell Whitaker, escorted into the ring by a 110-piece marching band, had difficulty in the early rounds against the extremely awkward Poli Diaz, and then came back to pound out a one-sided, unanimous decision with some of the hardest punching we've ever seen from the undisputed lightweight champ. Stay tuned immediately following this edition of World Championship Boxing coverage for HBO Comedy Hour. Whoopi Goldberg and Billy Connolly on the East Coast, and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade on the West Coast. And be sure to join us Saturday, August 17 for our next telecast of World Championship Boxing. WBC Super Welterweight Champion Terry Norris defends his title against Brett Lally, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific, August 17 here on HBO. We expect another great one. So now, for Larry Merchant and George Foreman and Harold Letterman, I'm Jim Lampley saying so long tonight from Norfolk, Virginia. The executive producer of HBO Sports is Ross Greenberg. Tonight's telecast produced by Michael J. Whalen, directed by Mark Payton. The replay producers were David Harmon and Brian McDonald. Associate producer Kirby Bradley. Feature producer Stephen Salvatore. Assistants to the producer Jerry Aniskevich, David Leibson, and Artie Curry. And the production manager was Russell Gabay. Presentation of HBO Sports, the network of champions.
Terrible Terry Norris, the fast and furious WBC Super Welterweight Champion. He sent Sugar Ray Leonard into retirement, made Donald Curry call it quits, and KO'd John the Beast Mugabe in the first round. Now defends his title against a hungry Brett Lally, NABF Super Welterweight Champion and number 3 ranked.
By Smoking Bird Cooper. Cooper's nickname perhaps shouldn't be spoken, but Cat, since he's had so many lives, he's had more crossroads than a Rand McNally map. There's a right uppercut by Cooper. Well, he's had a career marked by many ups and downs. Perhaps the biggest down was June of '89 when he ballooned to 211 for George Foreman in Phoenix and didn't come out for the third round. Tested positive for drugs. The Arizona Commission held up his purse, and it looked like his career was history, but he bounced back with a win over Alton Norris 3 fights later for the NABF heavyweight title.
Well, as we said at the opening, the measure of a man is what happens to him after his defeats and his adversity. He whipped the drugs, and that is the biggest victory in his life. He's back. He's alive in the heavyweight division, and he almost became the Cinderella heavyweight champion of all time. Would have been even bigger than Douglas's win.
And he's the only man to put Holyfield on the canvas, too. He fought Ray Mercer. He broke Ray Mercer's jaw.